What's up, everyone? JD Candy Shop Customs, just out in the shop today picking away at the CTS. We've had a few hot days, so hot for us is like 30, 35 degrees Celsius. It's like 95 Fahrenheit. And what's going on with the CTS, when we're stuck in traffic and the car is heat soaked, so we're not moving, we're kind of idling there. What was happening is the engine would start to run rough once in a while, and it would actually once in a while stall, so intermittent stalling would trigger engine light, and it would trigger a reduced power mode. Again, this is only happening in real hot, so 30, 35 degrees Celsius. And, you know, you go down through, pull some codes, and you get a fuel pressure sensor code, but you check the fuel pressure sensor, you check the circuit, validate all that, it's all good. So it was just really weird. There was wasn't an active fault on the car. Again, it was specific to hot weather. Now, the other thing that was happening in the hot weather was the AC when the car was stationary. So again, you stop at a red light or something like that, the AC would cut out, right? So when this is happening, you know, I'd stop, I'd open the hood to see if the fan was running, see if the AC compressor was cycling. AC compressor was cycling on and off, right? So to me, if it's moving or stationary is the issue, that has to do with the airflow through the radiator, right? So the only thing that changes when you stop is that it's not the airflow from the car moving, it's the fan that's drawing the air through the radiator. So I had always caught the electric fan moving the air, so it was always running. Until last night, I had this thing running in the shop, and I'm looking at it, and the AC clutch started cycling on and off, just kicking on and off, but the fan, the cooling fan on the radiator was not running. So I thought that was kind of weird. So I looked at the fan circuit. So we got our schematic here, and right here, whoop, there we go. Basically, that is a resistor pack that goes to the cooling fan. So you got two resistors and then a straight shot circuit. So what that means, along with these two relays up here, is that the cooling fan on this car has 3 speeds, low, medium, and then full tilt boogie. So I started to look and do some digging. So looking at the schematic, we got our 3 relays here. We have 3 fuses. So these ones on my car are actually a 40 amp for these fan relays. And that's easy to check. So we look in here, look at the schematic in the power distribution block, and that tells us, I believe it's these 2 here, and then that one is the 15 amp for the ignition. So those are all good. The relays are all functioning. So that puts us to that guy again, right? The resistor pack. So what it is this guy. So I moved this little box off of it because it looks like a relay and it's not a relay. So there is our resistor, right? So a couple windings, some insulation, ceramic, a couple diodes. So the diodes, they prevent any backfeeding voltage from when the fan shuts off. It'll actually generate a voltage and it'll send it back up the circuit. And those diodes prevent any of that voltage going to the control module. So what we did is I looked at the schematic, figure out the pin designation here versus the pin designation on the harness in the vehicle. And of these ones here, what I found was that this circuit right here, light blue to dark blue, so basically into this resistor pack, that resistor right there is open. So what was happening is under these, the certain conditions, that was not turning the cooling fan on, thus no airflow through the radiator, and what was happening is the engine would heat up, and I believe it was actually boiling the fuel in the fuel rail because the engine temperature was getting up there. So once it boiled the fuel in the fuel rail, it turns to vapor, and it's just like hydraulically locking a carburetor back in the day. So that, I believe that's what's happening, or what was happening for the drivability. And at the same time, because the cooling fan wasn't running in the car, what it was doing was causing the AC pressures, so the AC compressors down there, the AC pressures were getting too high because had no airflow for that heat exchange, and the pressure switch was kicking the compressor off. So once that was happening, you had no AC when the car was moving, or sorry, stationary. As soon as you start driving again, you had airflow through the radiator, that cooled things down, brought the pressures down, and the AC kind of functioned as normal. So I ordered a new one of these. Will be here Monday. And then hopefully that's got those two weird problems. So, TicketyBoo. That's how the process of diagnosis was going to go.